on the YouTube platform. We are super excited. We finally got 50 subscribers. So I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling good. And this is my first time going live on this platform. So to each and every one of you who are watching this, please, I encourage you to share this link with all of your plant besties. We are so thankful each and every time that you like, subscribe, and share. And today, we're going to be kind of doing like a little tour since it's your first time with us. For many of you, I hope some of you have your afternoon coffee. And I really hope you guys like plants because that's what I'm going to be talking about for the majority of this afternoon. So, Verdant Lyfe was established in the year 2020 during a very uncertain time, as you can imagine. And during the pandemic, we had a lot of success and we were able to ship out a lot of plants and deliver happiness to your doorstep. So we're so thankful for that and that support that we've received over these last 5 years. We did celebrate our 5-year anniversary just last month, September the 8th. So thank you so much for that. Love you guys. And we are Broward County's largest provider of bamboo and carnivorous plants. So we're going to be talking about those things, and I'm going to show you some other selections. And something that I think is really unique about Verdant Lyfe is that we ship houseplants nationwide. It doesn't matter if you're in Wyoming, Alaska, New York, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, wherever you are, we will ship that plant to you, even if you're in the most remote of places. And I think that being able to ship out plants to other states is something especially very important and special because you can't get all these plants in certain states. So we're super privileged that we are able to bring you guys these very special plants. So thank you so much for watching. And I want to show you guys my plant cabinet. Guys, I love this plant cabinet. If you guys want to create something similar to this, I'm gonna just go ahead and give you the information. So we purchased this from IKEA. The grow lights we purchased from Amazon, and we kind of like put this together. And it's really nice because it's a controlled environment for our carnivorous plants. And mostly everything that you see here, with the exception of just one of the plants, everything's carnivorous. So they do like a tropical kind of a ambiance. That's why we do have a little humidifier down there, and we do mist them twice daily. So if you are somewhere else and you want to control the temperature or the ecosystem, you want to have your own little ecosystem at home, consider getting a little humidifier or mist them twice daily. That's very, very important, okay? And one of my favorite carnivorous plants that I want to show you guys is the Nepenthes Gaia. This is in the Kokendama moss ball. And by the way, you guys can shop online, verdantlyfe.com. Our link is in the bio. Verdant Lyfe, and that's life with a Y, Verdant Lyfe. And this is my Nepenthes Gaia. Look at these beautiful carnivorous pitcher plants. This is known for its pitfall traps, and this is especially skilled at capturing its prey. And on the inside of these pitcher plants, you will notice that there is a little bit of fluid on the inside. This is actually the carnivorous plant's digestive enzyme, and it's also the nectar that will attract the prey. So that could be fruit fly, mosquitoes, house fly, it could be a number of things, spiders. So this is one of those plants that I absolutely love. And I think that the Kokendama moss ball is just such an elegant and beautiful way for those pitchers to cascade so beautifully. And if you are just now getting into carnivorous plants, I really do recommend a pitcher plant for you because they propagate especially very nicely, and they're going to give you lots of babies. I'm going to come in closer. Look at this little itty bitty microscopic little baby. So cute. and it just gives you lots of growth. Look, I even have this growth coming up from right here. And over time, you have to repot your plants. That's just part of the game that we play here. And I usually recommend that you repot your plant like once every 6 months, or at least once a year, okay? That's like the bare minimum, okay? And it's very important that you upkeep the image of your carnivorous plants. So if you see any wilting leaves, you can go ahead and remove those. That does stimulate the growth hormone in your carnivorous plants. And these pictures, also known as pitfall traps, they do exactly that. It's kind of like a slip and slide. So when the insects land here, this is very, very slippery. So they will fall, and it's like a slip and slide, and they can't escape. And what's really cool is that once the insect is inside, they actually try to get out, but they exhaust themselves and they're not able to do that. Hi, Ari. Thank you so much for joining our first ever live. Let's see. Binary Ghost says, my Venus flytraps never live. Hold on a second. We got to talk about that. Now, I recently did a post on social media that was called Dormant or Dead. So it's kind of interesting what you're telling me, that your Venus flytraps never live. So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell me, please, what state you're in. I'm in South Florida, so it is quite tropical and sunny here most of the year. But understand that your carnivorous plant, it will go through a dormant period. And when you notice that the traps are growing closer to the ground, your plant is dormant. It's not dead, okay? Now, if you do notice that all of the traps are brown and the rhizome, which is that what's in the middle, right? What's inside the soil or the sphagnum moss, the rhizome, it should be a white green color. That tells you that it's still alive. But if you see that it's brown, then you know for sure it's not doing well. You're in South Florida too, babe. I wish you could send me a picture of your plant so we could see what's happening. Now let's talk about the Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap, it is a sensitive plant. I'm gonna be very, very honest with you guys. It's very sensitive, and I'm gonna show you an arrangement that I have here with some massive Venuses. So my Venus flytrap, number one, it does not like regular soil. They don't like that. And the reason why is because soil is extremely rich in nutrients. And these plants have evolved over time to get all of their nourishment from insects. So I don't know what the condition was of your plant or where its resting place is, but let's discuss that for a little bit, because I think it's a good opportunity for us to do a Q&A, get some answers there for you. And I appreciate everybody participating and asking questions. And if you want to go ahead and put in the comments where you might be tuning in from today, I would love to say hello to you. But yeah, guys, green Venus flytraps, red Venus flytraps in general, they love sphagnum moss. If you're going to put them in a bog of some sort, you can use peat moss. So if you're going to use peat moss, don't use Miracle Grow. The Miracle Grow, it's very rich in nutrients, and again, this is not something that your Venus flytraps need or want. That will kill them over time. Also, Venus flytraps, they like about 6 hours of bright, bright light. Personally, my own little collection at home, I have them where my house is facing, hold on, let me think. So my house is facing south. So I get that east sun, you know, that east morning sun, which is very gentle, right? It's not too harsh. And by the time it's like 11:30, 2 o'clock, they are in a partial shady area. So they're not going to have their leaves be scorched from that sun. So I have strategically placed my plants where they need to be. And something that I did, which you guys might think it's a little nerdy, but I actually did a time-lapse video because, you know, I'm not home all the time and I wanted to find out where was the sun going to be during the parts of the day, especially when I'm not home. So the time-lapse video was able to show me that. So I encourage you to give it another go. And Binary Ghost, which I love your screen name, by the way, very Halloweeny. I love that. It says here, well, the plant is long gone. Oh, R.I.P. I had many over the years. Impulse buy from Home Depot. Okay. You probably should have done a repot. Now, I encourage you to give it another try. And if and when you do decide to try again, use sphagnum moss or use the sphagnum peat moss, as I mentioned. And something that's very important with these plants, they're very bougie. So you cannot, I repeat, you cannot give them regular tap water because they'll die. They don't like it. They love rainwater, which we've been having a lot of rain these last couple months here in South Florida. Rainwater is great, and distilled water is also something that you can do. Reverse osmosis water is also acceptable, but I do recommend that you give it another try in the future. And remember that your plant might not be dead in some cases. Some of the plants, like I said, they do go dormant, but you have to really analyze what that situation looks like, okay? Guys, cheers. Is anybody having their afternoon coffee with me? So I want to go into my favorite place. You guys are going to come with me. Let's go to the greenhouse together, shall we? Oh, and before we go to the greenhouse, I want you guys to kind of see what's happening here. So I got a bunch of lucky bamboo that's happening over here. Over here in the corner, I've got a little time-lapse video happening. I've been recording this since Friday of last week. I've got 2 leaves that are starting to unfurl from this beautiful philodendron. So just a little behind the scenes. I've got my little tripod. I've got everything set up. And of course, I've got it attached to some power because otherwise I'll run out of battery. And I do have a little lamp for a light source when it's dark outside because, you know, we want to get all of that action. All right. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much. These are our beautiful bamboo plants. This is almost as tall as I am. It's huge, right? It's crazy. Let's go to the greenhouse where all the carnivorous plants are. I think you guys are really gonna love this. So behind me, we've got some other cool selection of plants. And remember, you can check all of this out on our website, verdantlyfe.com. And as you guys can see here, it's L-Y-F-E, verdantlyfe.com. So let's go into the greenhouse. You guys are gonna love this. So here in our little greenhouse, we have so many little babies. We have carnivorous plants, a lot of them. We have Venus flytraps, we have pitcher plants, we have sticky traps, we got the slider traps. We have so many beautiful plants. Look at my little baby Venus flytrap. Look how pretty that is. So cute. And these, they do very, very well indoor or outdoor. But remember, you have to give it those key elements, which is the 6 hours of bright light, whether that's an artificial grow light, like what you see right here, or of course the natural sun, and rainwater and distilled water. That is what these little babies need in order to grow. And remember that each of these traps has a life cycle. So on average, once an insect has digested a bug, it could take anywhere from 5 to 12 days for the trap to do that. And it will absorb those nutrients into the plant. And you're gonna notice that over time, that trap, it's gonna start to wilt away, it's gonna start to turn yellow, then brown, then black. You must upkeep your plant and you have to do some pruning, okay? They need that dedication from you. When you cut the trap, that trap will no longer be absorbing that energy from your plant. And it's also going to promote and stimulate brand new growth, which is exactly what we need. That's what we want. And your plant is just going to be so happy and thankful. And I think it's really cool to also keep a journal of some kind. Journaling has really helped me personally to understand what mistakes I have made, you know? So it's kind of like a trial and error situation. You have to really see what works for you. And it also depends on what state you're in. Is it indoor, outdoor? Like, there's a lot of things that factor into the equation. But binary ghosts, I hope you don't give up on your Venus flytraps. You know, I know it didn't go well for you in the past, but now with a little bit more information, maybe you'll give it another go. And I do want to just throw out there, if you guys do purchase anything today during this YouTube live, I'm going to go ahead and personally select that plant for you. All right, and I'll select it here with you on the live. Go to verdantlyfe.com and you just let me know that you placed an order, and we'll go ahead and pick that out together. All right, but again, this is my little green Venus flytrap. This isn't a 2-inch nursery. I do have these in various sizes, various different planters, so be sure to look at the options that we do have there as well. And we're going to look at some other really cool plants together. Now, I want to draw your attention to something that I think is quite interesting, and I think it'll be helpful to those of you who are home. So my plants, you guys see here that I have them in this water. So I have them immersed in the water because I want to make sure that that sphagnum moss stays nice and hydrated. That is the best situation for your carnivorous plant. They love swampy ambiances. That's like their favorite place to be. So that is why we have them like that. So you can either mist twice daily, or you could do that. I especially recommend submerging them in the water, especially if you're going to be out of town, maybe for a couple days. So that'll help you. That way you can enjoy your vacation and you won't have anxiety wondering if your plant has survived. Okay? And we also do have different terrariums and kits and lots of fun little things. So this one over here, this is the carnivorous bog. This is a really cool kit that you guys can order on verdantlyfe.com. And also, you can assemble this in the comfort of your own home. We have 2 different variants. We have the mean green and we have the red savage. It comes with 3 unique carnivorous plants, either 3 green or 3 red. And you get this very lovely glass little terrarium. We provide the stones for you, all the sphagnum moss that you need, and you also do get some instructions so you can do everything easy at home. Last Friday, I worked on this terrarium, and with this one specifically, I used the carnivorous quad bundle that we do offer on our website, so be sure to check that out. The carnivorous quad, it comes with 4 unique carnivorous plants, and I put them in this really cool terrarium. I thought it had so much personality, and I even like added a cute, adorable little bridge. So much fun. In here I have the Sarracenia, the Scarlet Belle, the Lady Luck, which is an Nepenthes Pitfall pitcher plant. So cute. I've got the Pinguicula Butterwort, which we are temporarily sold out, but once we do get that back in stock, I will certainly let you know. And I got a little Venus flytrap right there in the corner. So there's so many creative ways for you guys to make your arrangements come to life. So if you're trying to put together a bog, or if you want to make a little carnivorous arrangement, whatever it is that you want to do at home, I recommend that you guys look into our bundles. We have bundles that are bundles of 2, 3, 4, and up to 5. So be sure to check those out when you can. Over here, this is another carnivorous plant. This is the Nepenthes Lady Luck carnivorous plant. Look how beautiful she is. So gorgeous, right? And at home, you'll notice that the traps, just like everything, has a life cycle, and it's important that you give it a little haircut. So I'm going to show you how I cut the dead trap. It's super easy. You can do this at home. I'm going to go ahead and cut where the tendril meets the leaf, because I don't want any more energy to be taken away from my plant. Very carefully gonna cut. Goodbye. That was easy, right? Simple enough. I'm gonna look and see if I have anything else that could be cut. Yep, I see one more that could be cut. And I recommend that if you're gonna do this, you know, check your plant maybe like once every 10 days or so. Make sure that it's looking good. And remember that anytime you do a cut, anytime that you prune your carnivorous plant, you are stimulating growth. So don't be afraid. Sometimes you might have to cut a lot, you know, and that's okay, because more little babies are gonna come, so you don't worry. All right, but this is my Nepenthes Lady Luck, and it is said to attract good fortune and good luck. So if you're a person who needs some good luck vibes in your life, and you also want to, you know, have like a 2-for-1, and this is going to eat the insects, whether they're in your home or the other day we had this really sweet couple come in, and they had this crazy mosquito problem where they lived, which was in Coconut Creek, which is not very far away from here, and they live close to a lake. So she ended up buying a really big pitcher plant, and she wrote us the really sweetest review. She was super happy with her purchase, and she said that she's already like noticed a difference, which is really awesome. And carnivorous plants, guys, they are so amazing. Once you have mastered the trick, you're going to be super satisfied, and you're going to probably want more and more carnivorous plants. So be sure to explore and check things out. And remember, we do have a newsletter. So if you have not yet subscribed to our newsletter, please do so. Go to verdantlyfe.com, sign up for our newsletter, and get information on the weekly. And you can also modify your subscription preferences, okay? But yeah, again, that's my Nepenthes Lady Luck for you. Now over here, I have her cousin, which is the Nepenthes Gaia. She's got some little tiny freckle-like patterns, is what I would say. These pictures over here, they're still a little bit on the green side. She's still very much a juvenile. She's still growing, she's still developing. Guys, look at this adorable little baby trap that's growing. Oh my God, how cute is that? Isn't that beautiful? It's so beautiful, right? Guys, thank you for liking the live. Thank you for sharing this live with all of your plant best. Like the live and share the live. This does get pushed to the For You page, and we're growing. Like I said, we just got like 54 followers recently, so we're growing our YouTube channel, we're growing our online presence, and you make that possible. So thank you so much again for liking this, for sharing this, and for subscribing to our YouTube. We're so grateful for you. Next plant we're going to look at is going to be this fun little one. Look at this one. This is the Cape Drosera Sundew. I really feel it on camera. It just doesn't do it justice. Like if I had a microscope to show you guys this, you would be shocked. You'd be very, very impressed with this. But this has some very sticky glands, okay? And as it's a sticky trap, this is how it does trap its prey. So as you can see here, if you see any like little black specks or little dots on the leaves, those are actually the fungus gnats, the little fruit flies that are no longer freely flying about. So we're super thankful for this plant. And a bonus about this specific plant in my hand, it does grow a very beautiful purple flower. So check this plant out. I think you guys will be really happy with her. If you love carnivorous plants, or if you're just kind of learning about them, get yourselves this one. This one's such a beautiful and rewarding plant. You got to mist it twice a day. Rainwater or distilled water or reverse osmosis water is very helpful. And remember, she likes the light. So give her about 6 hours of bright light, whether that's natural sunlight. Remember, if it's going to be outdoors, make sure that you have her in a spot where she's not going to get that very harsh sunlight from like 11:30 to 2 o'clock, because that sun, especially in South Florida, is harsh and it will burn the traps, which we don't want that. Okay? Cute. All right, and again, that's my Nepenthe, my Cape Drosera sundew. Now, the cousin of that plant would be the pink sundew. So cute. Look at those pretty little pink flowers there. How adorable is that? Don't you like that, guys? This is also known for its sticky traps. Really awesome plant, and she gets a very bright red and pink tone right here in her traps. She just needs a little bit more time to be exposed in that light because she's a baby. She's a 2-inch. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments for me. We're doing a live Q&A about carnivorous plants, or any plants really. I'm happy to talk to you guys about any and all plants. And if you want to put in the comments, what's your favorite plant, or what's a plant that you detest? Because we also have those plants that we don't love so much, and that's okay. You know, that's what makes this kind of fun. So I'm gonna go further over here to show you guys a couple things. All right, so here I have this one. Here, let's fix the camera so you guys can really see her. So this is the Purpurea sarracenia venosa red. Look at that very beautiful trumpet. And look at all these babies that are coming too. I'm gonna get a little closer so y'all can really appreciate her. She's so good looking. She's super cute. I like that. And we also do have this one over here, which is the Lady Luck. She's doing very well. She's grown a lot within the last 2 weeks. She was repotted in here just a few weeks ago, and she's like really flourishing, I'll tell you that. Over here, I've got another amazing Nepenthes. Now this is the Nepenthes sanguinea. And as you guys can see there, that's a very big trap. It's about the size of my hand. And this plant is just doing very well. Now with Nepenthes, they like to climb. So if you see here, you'll notice that it's really standing up nice and straight, and it's just getting taller and taller, and the chain is actually helping to support her weight. And this is one of those planters that I recommend, especially for the Nepenthes, because it allows them to cascade very beautifully. And you see here, look at this new growth. This is gonna be a picture one day. But yeah, guys, look at these beautiful pictures. And over time, you will see that they have a little life cycle, and they'll start to turn brown once it's time for them, you know, to be cut. I'm gonna cut right here, and actually we can do that together. I'm gonna show you guys how I do that, because I think at home it's really helpful for you guys to learn how to do these things independently, so you guys have more confidence when you guys are cutting, when you're trimming. Scissors. Okay, so I've got my pair of scissors right here, and where's the one I'm gonna cut? So let's see. I hope you guys can see. I'm gonna try to come a little bit closer for the sake of the example. Okay. So I want to cut where the leaf and the, oh God, where this is. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right here, a little 45-degree angle. Okay. And now that's no longer going to be taking energy from my plant, and my plant is going to give me new growth. They love getting that haircut because, again, this is just draining the plant of unnecessary energy. So by doing that cut, we're doing a good thing for our plant. And I know that some of you at home might not be sure. And that's why during these live sessions, I really like to go over those things, and I like to educate you guys along the way. So remember, if you ever have any questions about any carnivorous plants or any plants in general, I'm happy to answer those. And you can always message me directly, hello@verdantlyfe.com. Remember that we do spell that VERDANTLYFE. hello@verdantlyfe.com for any of your plant questions or queries. And you can go to verdantlyfe.com to order your carnivorous plants, and we will ship those right directly to your front door. Now over here, up in the sky, I've got a really cool, another Nepenthes. This is the Alata. How gorgeous is she? She's so beautiful. Now this plant is about a year and a half old. Now the nursery plants that you see here, the ones that are in the 2-inch planter, these are just a few months old. So they're still very young, juvenile, and they haven't developed their true characteristics just yet, meaning like the color and things of that nature. So over here we got a really good example. This is another Nepenthes Gaia, and we've got some trimming to do, so let's do that together during the live. So where the tendril meets the leaf is where I want to cut. Doop. Bye-bye. That was easy, right? Remember, where the tendril meets the leaf is where I want to cut. Snip, snip. Yeah, we don't need none of that. Our plant doesn't like that. I'm going to look and see if there's anything else that might need a little cut or a snip. And this is a very relaxing activity as well. When you spend time pruning and cleaning your plants, you're actually doing a good thing for yourself. You're helping yourself to, you know, get grounded, de-stress. Like a lot of good things happen when you do that. But look at that gorgeous growth, you guys. And again, this is the Nepenthes Gaia. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut this strap, unfortunately. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Okay, so let's talk a moment about the picture itself. Okay, so this is the picture. Some of you might be wondering, well, why did I cut it? Well, I cut it because it has a little hole and it got squished and it got hurt. But for the sake of the example, we're just going to talk about this. So here we've got the actual picture, and these little specks right here that you guys can see, this is something that will trick the insects. So insects are they're going to be flying around in here, they're going to fall in here, and when they're inside, they think they can fly out because they think that these are holes, and it's kind of like a disguise. It's actually really fascinating. And inside of the picture, you have the digestive enzyme, which is also the sweet nectar that will lure that prey. And another cool thing, this little hood-like contraption, this acts as an umbrella, if you will. So when it's raining in its natural habitat or at home when you're misting, this is going to prevent too much water from coming into the pitcher, because when there's too much water in your pitcher, guess what? It actually dilutes the digestive enzyme. So Mother Nature is so intelligent that over time it evolved and created its own umbrella. How cool. And in other natural habitats in some places of the world, these are called monkey cups, because of course you can imagine the little monkeys, they come and they drink, they cheers to you, and they drink the fluid that's inside. They do it to hydrate themselves, and they're also getting some extra good protein that's inside. So it's really cool, the relationship that carnivorous plants and animals have with one another. I've also read that like little tree frogs, they will like actually come in here and hide in here, not because they're going to get eaten, but because they're waiting for the insects to come. So it's kind of like, you know, they're like, okay, this is an all you can eat situation, let me be a part of this. And again, that is a pitcher plant. How pretty is that? And this part right here, this is the tendril. This is the tendril. And something really cool that I learned about the pitcher plants is that the tendrils, they will kind of like grab onto each other, and they do that to support the weight of each other, especially when they get really big and heavy. And these pitchers, believe it or not, they can get to be 2 feet tall. 2 feet tall. Like, that's crazy. That's 24 inches. That's insane. And in certain parts of the world, like Malaysia, the Philippines, these babies have been known to not just eat insects. They have also been known to eat mice, lizards, rats. I saw someone's TikTok where their pitcher plant ate their pet hamster. And I don't know if that was real, but it could happen. It could have been real. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, how did this hamster get eaten by a carnivorous plant? Irresponsibleness is what happened there. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to kind of talk to you about the anatomy of the pitcher plant. And over here, this has like these, it's a very interesting texture. And when an insect lands right here at the base, they actually slip and fall into the trap. That's pretty fascinating. I think it's really, really interesting, that whole situation there. But yeah, again, this is my Nepenthes Gaia, and she's just doing extremely well. I see a little dead leaf, so I'm just going to go ahead and prune it. And remember, it's very important that you prune and upkeep at home so that she can look her absolute best, right? And remember, you can purchase these at verdantlyfe.com. And just go ahead and look at our carnivorous options there. I think you'll be quite pleased and especially impressed. We have a great time here at Verdant Lyfe. We really, really do love our plants so very much. Plants bring happiness. They help you to de-stress. They have so many benefits, guys. Not only do they photosynthesize and they purify the oxygen that we breathe, but carnivorous plants, they also help to control the insect population, which I think is really, really magical. I do love that. Guys, look at my baby. Look at this beautiful, beautiful plant. This is the Nepenthes sanguinea. She's doing really, really well. Look at all her new growth right here. Look at all these little babies. And she just developed such a pretty green color, I think. And you guys can see that's the digestive enzyme that's on the inside. You guys can see that, right? And I do see a few little insects there. And we also do custom arrangements. So if you have a special idea in mind, or you want to put something together that's maybe not necessarily on verdantlyfe.com, send us a message, hello@verdantlyfe.com, and we will go ahead and customize that order for you. You guys are so awesome. You guys are such an awesome audience today, by the way. If I haven't told you that, I'm letting you know right now. So the next plant that I want to kind of show you guys is this one. Now I picked this plant for a specific reason. So this has a little weed growing out of it, and we got to get rid of that weed. Otherwise the weed is going to choke and strangle the plant. So I don't know how weeds get in plants sometimes. But it could have been a bird, it could have been a little random seed that got lost in there. But I'm just gonna go ahead and remove any weeds that I see in there. Much better. Now my plant's gonna do very well. And also, you gotta pay attention to your plants, guys. Your plants are talking to you. And this plant right here is telling me, Mel, I need a bigger planter. So when that happens, I do a little repot. And I'm going to show you guys our repot station, because again, this is our first YouTube live, so I kind of want to show you guys around a little bit so we can see how that goes. But if you're not sure if it's time to repot, just check the drainage hole of your little plant. If you see roots coming out the bottom just like this, I recommend you go up 1 or 2 sizes for the sake of your little plant, whatever plant that might be. It could be a snake plant, a spider plant, it could be a carnivorous plant, whatever. But if you see the roots coming out the bottom, baby, it is time for a repot. Let's go ahead and repot her together. Okay, so over here, this is my little repot station. We like to have everything like really nice and organized and easily accessible. It just makes sense, right? So over here, this is the repot station. This is where all of the plants get repotted. So I have a section for soil. Remember, based on what we talked about earlier, carnivorous plants, no soil. No, 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 we don't do that, okay? What I'm gonna use is my moss. And that's what I have over here, my little moss tower. And I already have pre-soaked my moss with distilled water only. So if you at home, if you're gonna buy some sphagnum moss, if you're gonna buy a brick of sphagnum moss from our website, for example, please, when you hydrate it at home, please only use rainwater or distilled water. Otherwise, you're doing all that work and your plant is not gonna be happy. So don't say I never taught you anything, okay? So as you guys see, it's time for us to do a little repot here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my little planter. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put her in this one, right? And this is a 4-inch. And I'm gonna first go ahead and fill it up with a little bit of sphagnum moss here. About that much, right? Now, this is the tricky part. You gotta be gentle. Do not manhandle the plant. You must be very careful. This is a baby. So what I like to do, I like to gently put it upside down, and I'm gonna squeeze and rotate. Squeeze and rotate. I'm gonna do that a few times until she just kind of magically comes out, and then I want to make sure the roots are coming out slowly from those drainage holes. We don't want to harm our plant in any way. She's got a very healthy root system. She's super happy, and now I'm going to go ahead and place her in a bigger home. All I'm going to do is place her in here like so, and now I'm going to add more sphagnum moss to my Sarracenia. This is a very relaxing thing for you guys to do at home. This is something that helps you to connect instantly with nature. It's a stress reliever. So if you're feeling stressed ever, I recommend that you spend some time in your garden. I recommend that you spend time pruning your plants, loving your plants, talking to your plants. Some of my plants have names, and personally, I like to give them very ridiculous, crazy, unheard of names. But I just think that's fun. So if you at home have any interesting names that you want to share, go ahead and put those in the comments. I would love to hear some of the names of your plants. Go ahead and put them in at any time. And like I said, I'm just placing my sphagnum moss very gently, very carefully. And as I mentioned prior, I have already pre-soaked my sphagnum moss in distilled water. Please only use rainwater or distilled water when you are hydrating your sphagnum moss or when you're watering your carnivorous plant. Okay. How easy was that, you guys? That was so easy, right? And now, I bet you we come back in 2 weeks and we check the growth. This is gonna be double or triple the size. That is another important reason to pay attention to your plants, because they are talking to you. Maybe not verbally, but you will see the signs. So check those drainage holes, look and see if there's any wilting leaves or traps. Get rid of those. It's going to stimulate the growth of your plant, and it's going to do so well. And that was just so much fun to do with you guys. I'm so glad you guys were here to do that with me. And I am going to be going live more frequently, and this Friday I'm going to be going live on the YouTube platform, and we're actually going to be doing a really fun giveaway on Friday, so be sure to be here. It's going to be from 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to be going live for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on, you know, how I feel. But we will be doing that giveaway come Friday, so make sure you guys join us. Thank you so much for your participation, for being a part of the live, for subscribing, because for us this is such a big deal. This is literally our very first time going live on YouTube, so we're super thrilled. We're really happy about the growth. We're happy to be a part of this brand new platform, and we're happy to bring the education of plants to you. And remember, go to verdantlyfe.com to shop for carnivorous plants, for lucky bamboo. We got a bunch of really cool stuff. So in the meantime, before we say goodbye, I'm gonna just show you guys a couple of the things that we have here. So over here I've got some Hoyas, I got some staghorns, I got more Hoyas. Now, this is, I think, something truly unique, and I have to brag about this. So this is an actual coconut that came from a tree. And something that's very important for Verdant Lyfe, we like to repurpose and reuse, especially natural elements, especially something like this that might have been tossed into a landfill. And we have repurposed this coconut into being the perfect 4-inch planter. And this is a staghorn fern in a coconut. Like, how amazing is that? It's definitely giving me tropical vibes. So again, that's something I really appreciate about Verdant Lyfe, is that we do repurpose elements like this. And it's just such an attractive planter, don't you think? I love that. I love that we do that. Look at this. Look at this cactus over here. Look at these philodendrons. We got aglaonemias. Look at my adorable pink quills. Get yourself a pink quill. They're pretty awesome. We've got Hoyas for days, guys. If you don't know about the Hoyas, y'all are missing out. This is one of those low maintenance plants that will just amaze you, and you'll fall in love with it because it has very attractive blooms. You're gonna love it. If you don't know about Hoyas, get a Hoya. Of course, I got my little stringy of pearls. Look how cute. Look at this, guys. This is the philodendron, the Billy. She's so pretty. Over here, we got more. Lots of greenery here. And by the way, can I just say that the quality of the oxygen in Verdant Lyfe is amazing. When I walk into this building, when I walk into the greenhouse, I just love breathing in that clean, fresh air. Like, the air quality in here is unreal. You have to visit. If you guys are ever in the South Florida area, if you're ever in Broward County, come to Coral Springs, visit our nursery. We're in the AC, by the way. I know I've been sweating, but that's because I was in the greenhouse and there was a lot of humidity there. But we do have an air-conditioned, amazing nursery. So come on in and check things out if you guys are ever in the area. Look at my monkey tail, you guys. Isn't this gorgeous? I can't wait to see what flower color she's gonna produce for me. I've got some pink princesses. We have so many cool things, you guys. You really have to check the website. We got snake plants, more Hoyas, we got aglaonemias. We got a lot of great stuff here. We also have the staghorn in this presentation. Look at my cute little baby bonsais. They're so adorable. We've got alocasias. We got pet-friendly plants. Oh, hold on a second. So, let's see. Look at this little princess right here. This is Shelly. Shelly does all of our quality control at Verdant Lyfe, and she loves the pet-friendly selection that we offer. You're such a good girl. You're a good baby. So if you guys ever are in the area, you guys will meet Shelly. You guys will meet me, and we'll be so happy to give you guys a tour. Let's carry on. So over here, we've got these plants. I've got lots of really pretty prayer plants. I love prayer plants, by the way. I think they're so fascinating. I love how they move and all that cool stuff. Look at this, you guys. How gorgeous is that? More prayer plants. Oh, if anybody needs any luck in their lives, get yourself a money tree. Don't say I didn't tell you. Over here, we've got our bromeliads. We've got some lucky jade bonsais. We got air plants. Guys, let me just show you the adorableness. Come on now. Look at that adorable pineapple plant. And all of this is available on verdantlyfe.com, by the way. And remember, we do ship houseplants nationwide. We even just got our Norfolk Island pine, which I love. Oh, it's got that beautiful like Christmas smell. It definitely smells like Christmas. It does. I love this plant. It's just so beautiful. And this is a little baby Christmas tree. And if you plant it outside, it's gonna really grow and be massive. These grow very quickly, by the way. We got more Hoyas over here. I also have quite a selection of succulents. We have accessories. We've got lots of pots, planters, all kinds of cool stuff for you guys. Over here, there's just like a forest of stuff, honestly. You guys gotta check it out. I hope that you guys enjoyed our very first ever live. This was so much fun. I am super thankful for each and every person who was here today. And I hope you guys like, follow, and subscribe, because we're gonna be doing this more continually. And Friday, I'm gonna be doing a really exciting giveaway. So tune in Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. Like, follow, and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next live. Thank you all so much for tuning in.